In the journey of life, wisdom often comes with age, and there are few things more valuable than the insights shared by someone who has lived through decades of experiences. Imagine sitting down with a wise 90-year-old grandmother, someone who has witnessed the complexities of human nature, love, loss, and growth. Her perspective on human psychology, built over a lifetime of understanding people, offers a refreshing, candid look at how we interact, how we grow, and what truly matters in life. A mature man, someone who's seeking deeper insight into the human psyche, can learn immeasurable lessons from her. In this conversation, she unravels the truths about human behavior, emotional intelligence, and the quiet power of understanding ourselves and others. The myth of size, a harmful distortion of intimacy. In today's society, there is an overwhelming and persistent myth that dictates the value of a person in the context of romantic relationships, particularly when it comes to physical intimacy. We are bombarded by media, advertisements, and casual conversations that suggest one thing: the size of a man's body, particularly his penis, is the ultimate factor in determining his worth in relationships. This idea is ingrained in our culture, subtly or overtly influencing how people perceive themselves and others. Whether it's in movies, magazines, or even in the locker rooms, the message is loud and clear. If you don't measure up to a certain physical ideal, your ability to satisfy and be loved is somehow diminished. This narrative creates an unrealistic standard, one that places unnecessary pressure on men and misguides our understanding of true intimacy. However, what if I told you that this myth, this obsession with size, is not only false, but also harmful? What if the real key to intimacy, connection, and fulfillment in a relationship lies not in how one looks or measures, but in something far deeper? In this video, I will unravel the complexities of emotional connection and how it far outweighs any physical trait when it comes to nurturing a successful, loving relationship. By the end of this conversation, you will understand why size is irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. The truth is, intimacy flourishes when there is mutual respect, trust, care, and most importantly, open communication. If you're tired of constantly measuring up to an impossible standard, then this conversation is for you. It's time to shed these unrealistic expectations and embrace the real essence of what it means to love and be loved. Breaking free from societal expectations. It's no secret that in today's world we are constantly exposed to images and ideals that shape our perceptions of ourselves and others. Society has long perpetuated the belief that physical perfection, whether in terms of a woman's body or a man's, is the foundation of attraction, worth, and success in relationships. Nowhere is this more evident than in the obsession with male genital size. From advertisements to social media to mainstream entertainment, the message is omnipresent. Size equals satisfaction, and physical attributes are the benchmark of a man's desirability. Unfortunately, this belief has become so deeply embedded in our psyche that it feels almost impossible to question. We've been conditioned to believe that our physical appearance defines who we are, how lovable we are, and whether we are capable of providing pleasure. For men, the fear of not measuring up to society's exaggerated expectations can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and self-doubt. These feelings can become so powerful that they cloud one's ability to experience true intimacy and connection in their relationships. But let's take a step back and consider what intimacy really is. Is it truly about physical perfection or the appearance of our bodies? Or is it about something far more profound, something that transcends physical measurements? The reality is, true intimacy is built on emotional and mental connections, not on physical attributes. The importance of emotional connection in intimacy. Over the years, I have had the privilege of speaking with countless couples, many of whom have shared their most vulnerable moments with me. Despite the diversity of their experiences, there is one common thread that binds them all together. The strength of their emotional connection is the foundation of their love and intimacy. For many couples, what has truly kept them together and thriving is not the size of a body part, but the depth of the bond they share, the trust, mutual respect, and emotional intimacy that form the bedrock of a healthy, fulfilling relationship. What does emotional intimacy mean exactly? It goes beyond the physical act of being together. Emotional intimacy is about feeling safe and supported by your partner, knowing that you can express your vulnerabilities and fears without judgment. It's about feeling heard, understood, and cherished. It's about sharing your dreams, your struggles, and your hopes for the future, and knowing that your partner is there with you every step of the way. This is the essence of what makes a relationship fulfilling, and it's this connection that fosters true pleasure and satisfaction. The harmful myths surrounding physical perfection. The idea that size dictates sexual satisfaction has become so pervasive that many people believe it to be an absolute truth. Men who feel they don't live up to society's standards may experience feelings of inadequacy, while women might feel frustrated by the pressure placed on their partners to perform based on an unrealistic ideal. These harmful myths create a warped view of what intimacy is really about, focusing on physical attributes at the expense of emotional connection and communication. Over the years, research and studies have repeatedly shown that sexual satisfaction and relationship fulfillment are not defined by physical traits like penis size. Rather, they are deeply influenced by emotional intimacy and how well partners communicate their desires, needs, and boundaries. For example, studies have found that emotional connection and feelings of trust, comfort, and respect are far more important to women in terms of sexual satisfaction than the size of their partner's penis. When couples can communicate openly about what they want and need, when they listen attentively to each other's desires, and when they share moments of tenderness, that is when true intimacy can thrive. Moving beyond physical perfection. So, what should we do about all of this? How can we move beyond the physical ideals that have been thrust upon us and embrace the real essence of intimacy? First, we need to stop placing so much importance on size. It's time to let go of the myth that physical measurements define our worth in the bedroom or in a relationship. A healthy, fulfilling relationship is not built on what we have physically, but on how we connect emotionally. To illustrate this point, consider the many men and women who have confessed that sometimes a larger penis can be uncomfortable or even painful during intimacy. This reality is not often discussed openly, but it's an important aspect of understanding that size doesn't guarantee satisfaction. In fact, a smaller penis can often provide greater comfort and flexibility, allowing for more creative exploration of different positions without causing pain or discomfort. Moreover, men with smaller penises are often more in tune with their partner's emotional and physical needs. They may be more likely to listen carefully, offer affection, and show tenderness in ways that enhance the emotional bond. This is where the true magic of intimacy lies, not in physical measurements, but in the emotional connection and the effort both partners put into making the other feel cherished and valued. The power of communication and emotional attunement. One of the most powerful tools in any relationship is communication. When partners can talk openly and honestly about their desires, insecurities, and needs, they create an environment of trust and understanding. The ability to be vulnerable with your partner, to share your fears and doubts without judgment, is one of the most beautiful aspects of a relationship. It allows both partners to grow together, to build a deep emotional connection that goes beyond the surface. For many couples, it is the moments of emotional attunement, those small gestures of affection, support, and understanding that create the deepest connection. These moments might seem small, but they are the foundation of a strong, lasting bond. When partners take the time to truly listen to each other, to be present for one another in both good times and bad, they create a relationship that is grounded in love, respect, and mutual care. Final thoughts. What truly matters in intimacy? As we reflect on the myths surrounding size and the importance placed on physical attributes, it's important to remember one key truth. True intimacy is not about size. It's about the emotional and mental connection that partners share. It's about respect, communication, and vulnerability. When you can focus on these qualities, you create a relationship that is not only fulfilling, but resilient in the face of life's challenges. So, what's the takeaway? Size is irrelevant when it comes to genuine intimacy. It's the love, respect, and emotional connection you share with your partner that truly matters. When you prioritize these elements, you'll find that your relationship will be stronger, more fulfilling, and more meaningful than you ever imagined. Don't let society's narrow definition of intimacy dictate your worth. Embrace the beauty of emotional connection and watch your relationship flourish. Intimacy, more than just physicality. Intimacy is often misunderstood in today's culture. When people hear the word intimacy, their minds immediately jump to physical connection. This is largely due to the pervasive messages in media, advertising, and even in casual conversations with friends. From movies to magazines, we are led to believe that true intimacy is solely about physical attraction and sexual pleasure. However, what is often overlooked is the profound emotional aspect of intimacy, an aspect that is far more significant and lasting than any physical trait. True intimacy is not confined to physical acts. It is a beautiful art form that involves creativity, exploration, and a deep mutual understanding. At its core, intimacy is about emotional connection, the ability to be seen, heard, and understood by another person in ways that transcend the surface. It's about sharing your thoughts, your dreams, your fears, and your vulnerabilities. It's about being present for each other, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. While physical touch, such as kissing, hugging, and holding hands, is important, these actions should be the manifestations of something deeper, something that begins in the heart and mind. The most fulfilling and long-lasting intimate connections are those rooted in emotional vulnerability and care. The bond you share with your partner, forged through mutual respect and love, becomes the foundation for a truly satisfying physical connection. Why the myth of size doesn't matter. Emotional intimacy trumps all. One of the most damaging myths propagated by society is the belief that size determines satisfaction in relationships. Whether it's in films, advertisements, or social media, we're constantly bombarded with the idea that a man's penis size somehow reflects his sexual prowess or his worth as a partner. But the reality is far more complex and nuanced. The truth is, no physical trait, including size, determines the quality or depth of a relationship. Many people have spent years and even entire lifetimes feeling insecure about their bodies based on these distorted expectations. Yet, as research consistently shows, size is rarely a factor in true satisfaction or connection. Emotional intimacy is what truly drives pleasure and satisfaction in a relationship. It's the way partners make each other feel emotionally seen, heard, and cherished that fosters a fulfilling, satisfying connection. In fact, studies and personal testimonies from women reveal that emotional intimacy is often more fulfilling than the physical aspects of intimacy. A deep emotional bond, where both partners feel valued and respected, often leads to greater satisfaction than any physical attribute. Women frequently say that what matters most to them in a relationship is how their partner makes them feel loved and safe, not how large his penis is. They cherish the way a partner listens to their needs, understands their emotions, and provides support during vulnerable moments. The role of foreplay, tenderness, and emotional attunement. Intimacy flourishes when both partners are emotionally attuned to one another's needs. It goes beyond physical touch or the act of sex. It's about the emotional connection you share during those quiet, tender moments together. The importance of foreplay, in its emotional and physical forms, cannot be overstated. It's during these moments that partners learn to truly connect, to explore one another's desires and boundaries in a safe and respectful way. The emotional intimacy built during foreplay, the words, the gestures, the deep eye contact, forms the bridge to the physical connection. When it comes to intimacy, small gestures hold a profound impact. A kiss on the forehead, a warm embrace, or simply holding hands while watching a movie. They may seem insignificant, but they are the building blocks of trust and affection. These gestures speak volumes without the need for words and remind both partners that they are cared for, loved, and supported. The idea that a great lover is someone with the perfect body or ideal physical traits is a myth that does a disservice to both men and women. The truth is, a truly great lover is one who is thoughtful, caring, and emotionally available. Someone who takes the time to understand their partner's needs, who listens, and who is willing to communicate openly about desires, boundaries, and insecurities. True intimacy comes from being engaged and present, not from measuring physical attributes. Building confidence and overcoming insecurities. For many men, particularly those with smaller penises, the pressure to meet external expectations can lead to feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. Society's obsession with size can make them feel less worthy or incapable of satisfying their partners. However, these feelings of insecurity are rooted in harmful myths that should be debunked. The reality is that confidence in intimacy comes not from physical traits, but from emotional presence and understanding. When you communicate openly with your partner about your insecurities, it often results in a deeper connection. It creates an opportunity for both partners to express their needs and desires, and to reassure each other that love and intimacy are about more than physical measurements. Confidence in intimacy comes from knowing that your partner values you not for your size, but for the love and respect you share. The power of respect in relationships. Respect is the cornerstone of any lasting relationship, particularly in the context of intimacy. Respect means understanding that your partner is an individual with their own needs, desires, and boundaries. It means treating each other with kindness and consideration, valuing each other's emotions and experiences. Respect creates an environment in which both partners can be vulnerable, open, and honest about their feelings. When respect is at the core of a relationship, the focus shifts from physical attributes to emotional connection. It allows both partners to feel safe, loved, and valued, regardless of their appearance or size. True intimacy is about feeling supported emotionally, mentally, and physically, and knowing that your partner is there for you, no matter what. For true love and intimacy, building a deep emotional connection. When it comes to relationships, the most important thing is not size, appearance, or physical traits. What truly matters is the emotional connection between two people, the love, respect, and understanding they share. This deep emotional bond forms the foundation for everything else, including the physical aspect of the relationship. True love is about building a partnership grounded in mutual respect, trust, and emotional closeness. It's about making your partner feel loved, valued, and cherished. When both people in a relationship focus on nurturing these qualities, they create a bond that can withstand the tests of time. Relationships based on these principles are strong, resilient, and fulfilling. Embracing true intimacy. If you take one thing away from this conversation, let it be this: size does not define your worth or your ability to love. True intimacy is not measured by physical traits, but by the deep emotional connection, respect, and care you give to one another. When you prioritize communication, vulnerability, and mutual understanding, you create a relationship that is far more fulfilling than any superficial standard ever could be. True intimacy is built on the emotional connection that exists between two people who are committed to supporting each other, growing together, and exploring the depths of their love. So, if you are struggling with insecurities or doubts, take a moment to reflect on the love you share with your partner. Focus on what truly matters, the way you listen, care, and show up for each other. That is where true intimacy lies.